What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, this is Steven in Stereo, and in today's video we are really sadly, doing Taylor Swift's final album on this channel until she releases something new. I'm probably gonna do a video where I discuss all of the platinum edition tracks that I haven't checked out, to make it all kind of one video. But in today's video, we're checking out her self-titled. This was released in 2006. A lot of people like to call this her Yeehaw album, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I grew up in Houston, so when this came out, it was massively played on every single radio station, both pop and country alike. And she was huge. I probably know a lot of these songs because I feel like they were all on the charts. So yeehaw or not, I'm excited to get into this. Before we get into this, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Like the video if you like the video. Let me know in the comment section your favorite song on this album. With all those things out of the way, this first track is called Tim McGraw.
He said the way my blue eyes shine, but it had a tendency of getting stuck right there beside.
I liked her voice here a lot.
All summer long, you think Tim
Ooh, those harmonies.
I hope you think my favorite song. And I'm back for the first time since then. I'm standing on you think Tim McGraw. I hope you think of
It's so fun to go back and listen to this song and this era and really the start of it all for her. Obviously, I've worked her discography backwards in order from latest release until this one, and to go from Lover and work my way back down to this and hear this track and think about what I heard on Lover and just to see the overall evolution has been amazing. What I think was really cool about this era for her is that even though she had that twang that she doesn't have anymore and that accent that she doesn't have anymore, I never really felt like she was a country artist. She was always sort of crossing over into the pop territory, even with this song, even with the reference to Tim McGraw and all those things. It had the instruments of country music, but Taylor never really felt like that was all that she was gonna do, and you could immediately tell in this song, and it's fun to go back and listen to that. The next track we're gonna listen to is Picture to Burn. If I remember correctly, this is one of the first diss songs I ever heard from Taylor Swift. There's that country sound.
big fantasy. I realize you love yourself more than you don't. Pick up truck, you never let me drive.
Never let me.
Wasting time, as far as I'm concerned, you're
See, I feel like people should have known in this era, right from the get-go, you don't mess with Taylor Swift. She's going to put a song out and it's going to destroy you. And it was right here. It was perfect. She wrote it all along. She never tried to hide that. She's an amazing songwriter. Even back then when I'm sure she was collaborating on these songs because she was still new at this, even though her background was music writing. Once you kind of get in the industry, you have people that try to write for you or write with you. Obviously, she overcame that a lot with Fearless, if I remember correctly. Speak Now or Fearless. I believe it is actually Speak Now, where she wrote the entire thing with no help. But yeah, I feel like you should not cross a woman who can write that well, because you're going to get Picture to Burn. And then all the years later with all the amazing songs that came out on people that broke her heart.
as far as I'm concerned, you're just another picture to burn.
The last comment, I talked about how she didn't ever really sound that country, and you could always tell she had that pop element to her, but that all goes out the window when you hear Picture to Burn. From the instrumentation, which is heavily influenced on modern country at that time, and the accent that she sang in here, and even though that's not her accent, that's not the way she sounds now, and I don't really think she ever did, but I think she really played that sound up for this, and I actually don't discredit that at all, because it works so well over this instrument. And another thing that I liked is that she was very young when she put this album out. The songs were relatable at that time to other people that were her age, around this time, but it could also be transcended to an older generation as well. But Picture to Burn, the lyrics in this are very relatable, especially if you're going through one of your first couple relationships and, you know, that stupid pickup truck, you never let me drive, and talk about going out with all of this guy's best friends and stuff. Although that accent right there was so gnarly when she said that. But I just feel like this was very relatable, and I think that's one of the reasons that she ended up gaining so much popularity so fast, is that people could listen to her music and actually feel like they could connect with it. At the time, a lot of country music, granted this does mention a pickup truck, but a lot of country music was guns, pickup trucks, horses, and broken hearts. And for some people, and alcohol, and a lot of people her age really couldn't relate to some of that. So the fact that she made music that was easily relatable, I think really helped her to continue to push, and look where we're at now. So this next track we're gonna listen to is Teardrops on My Guitar. I probably haven't heard this song since it originally came out, unless I've seen it in a video recently, but I don't think I have, so I'm excited to check this one out.
Looks at me, I to me, I laugh 'cause it's just so funny. He's the reason for the teardrops on my guitar. Don't know why I do. Fake a smile so he won't see.
Love to be able to hear that style from Taylor. I feel like one of my favorite things is Taylor Swift with an acoustic guitar or an acoustic backing. There was a little bit of drums and stuff in here, but I love when we get that really raw feeling from Taylor. And while I know this was her first album and her writing just continued to get better and better, this is one of those songs that you hear it once and you already remember it. And the song basically talking about she's in love with this guy is in love with someone else, and so she writes these songs, and he's the reason that she's crying over her guitar writing these songs for him. It's very interesting to me to be able to, hear a song like this, and then that evolution that has occurred over so many albums now, including like getting into like Red and things like that. To hear a song like this and then see where that went is just, that's amazing to me. I don't know. And to think like this album was so good for what it was anyways. I don't know why people knock country Taylor so much. Like, I get it. Like, it wasn't really her style, but like it did make her huge, and she did it very well. Whether it was her style or not, she did great in it. And someone like me who can appreciate a lot of country music, I absolutely love. This is like the most memorable stuff from her until I started this channel was all the country stuff she did. Okay, the next track we're gonna check out is A Place in This World. I've never heard this.
Trying to see through the rain coming down. I'm so obvious, and I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. And I'm so trying to find a place in this world.
I'm alone on my own, and that's all I know. I'll be strong, I'll be wrong, oh, but life goes on. I'm alone on my own, and that's all I know. I'm just a girl trying to find a place in this world. I really like the lyrics in this one. I feel like that was probably my favorite part. The other part that I really enjoyed was the rock pop crossover in the instruments that were happening here. While the verse is a little bit slower, the chorus was extremely up-tempo, bringing in a little bit heavier of a guitar, heavier of drums, and the only thing that I really felt was a little off in this was Taylor's vocals. And that's weird for me to say, especially listening to all the albums that I've had. I've always really enjoyed her unique style and her voice. I didn't dislike all of the vocals in this, just one part in particular. She would like go to a little bit higher of a range, and I don't know that it necessarily fit very well in this. I don't know. That's the first time I've ever said that about a Taylor Swift vocal though, so I definitely felt like that was out of place for what it was. Okay, cool song though nonetheless. I really did enjoy the instruments there. I like when she does that little bit of a rock sound. I think it's a little bit different and it's fun. The next track we're gonna listen to is Cold As You.
You have a way of coming. You do what you want, 'cause I'm not what you wanted. Stuff in your words that you will never say. Oh, yeah. And you need, but I cried for you.
Never did give a damn thing, honey, but I cried for you. And I knew you wouldn't have told nobody if I died, and I died for you. What a shame, what a rainy ending given to a perfect day. Oh, every smile you fake is so condescending, counting all the scars you've made. Now that I'm sitting here thinking it through, I've never been anywhere cold as you. Yeah, we were able to witness track 5's birth, the birth of the emotional track, the deep cut, and this one did not disappoint at all. Even though the other tracks so far have had lyrical value and things of that nature, and they're obviously extremely easy to replay over and over for us, nothing quite hits the same as a Taylor track 5, and you definitely feel it here. These lyrics are coming straight from the heart. They feel different than the other ones. It feels like it comes from a place of actual, like, real raw sadness and anger. And, obviously Taylor has never been to a place as cold as you. And she's very honest in this track about everything she feels. And that's really all that I need in my life, is someone who's going to be as honest to me as Taylor Swift in a track 5, because I just love to be able to actually hear everything she's really thinking and feeling in that moment. And the way that she can put those things together and put us in that moment to feel that same pain is really everything. That's why we continue to come back to these albums. Okay, the next track we're gonna listen to is a song called The Outside. Oh, it's that country again. So I looked up the lyrics to the song because at first on hearing it and listening, I kind of felt like it was about a relationship, but then I don't know, like something about it made it seem like it wasn't. So I went and did a little bit of research on the internet to find out what the song was about. And apparently the song was actually written when Taylor was 12 years old, which we just need a moment to appreciate that. Like at 12 years old, you wrote this song. And the song, from what I can get from a majority of websites, is that she wrote this because there were a group of popular kids that she like wanted to be friends with, but they kind of like blew her off. They didn't want her to be in their group, didn't want her to be included. And she even says, like, I've been a lot of lonely places, but I've never been on the outside. She says, how can I ever try to be better? No one ever lets me in. And I can still see you, this ain't the best view. So originally when I heard it, I was like, oh, this has got to be about a relationship. But it hits even deeper when you realize she was 12, singing about friends that she just wanted to be friends with, and they didn't want anything to do with her, and just how lonely that made her feel. And I think if you can't take anything else away from this song, you should at least take away the part where she wrote this when she was 12 years old. And imagine if you were 12 writing about that same situation. It probably wouldn't have been nearly as artistic or nearly as easy to interpret as anything else. It would have been very direct with not anything else really going on. She did an amazing job on this song at 12 years old. Even if she would have wrote it at 23, we would have given it that same feeling though, because it's just such a great song and had a lot of maturity in the lyrics. Okay, the next song we're gonna listen to is called Tied Together with a Smile.
Only one who doesn't see your beauty. Maybe you're losing it. The water's high, not be the golden word. You're tied together with a smile, but you're coming undone.
Okay, we definitely just got a track that is that very standard country music ballad. It's usually very emotional. There's a steel guitar happening in the back a lot, and a lot of really great vocals, which is definitely what we got here. Taylor definitely shined vocally in this track. I'm not gonna lie, this style of song isn't usually my favorite. Sometimes it can drag on for a while or be a little bit boring. And one thing that I just really enjoyed was the fact that Taylor sang so beautifully on this that it definitely kept my attention. But actually my favorite part of this song, despite how beautiful Taylor sounded, was the lyrics. At the end of the whole song, the song is essentially about somebody who's going through it like you or me. They're ashamed of themselves, their body, they don't like themselves, they're crying a lot, they're sad, depressed. And at the end of everything, the only thing that kind of keeps you going is you put on this fake smile and you go out and show the rest of the world you just got this smile. But meanwhile, there's so much happening internally. You have this smile, but it's coming undone, and then all of the real you is going to come out. You can't keep hiding it. And I think the way Taylor painted that in the song was just so beautiful, even to the point you didn't even have to really look up the lyrics to actually understand everything she was talking about, which I always appreciate. So again, even though I'm not a huge fan of the country ballad style, there are some really great songs from this style of song. It's just not my favorite. I actually think that between the lyrics and the beautiful vocals Taylor had here, this is definitely a replay for me. All right, the next track is called Stay Beautiful.
Pretty girls on every corner, they're watching as he's walking from every little piece of, don't you know? Stay beautiful, never get too old and ask anyone.
Lyrically, the song is about Corey. I don't know who Corey is, but it's basically her just having this crush on him and, you know, saying all these wonderful things about him and wondering if he ever will even know just how beautiful he is. And, you know, she keeps saying, you're beautiful, every little piece of you, and you don't know, but you're really going to be someone. Just ask anyone. And when you find everything you looked for, I hope your life leads you back to my front door. Like, when you find out just how amazing you are, just please come back to me, because I know you're going to be So amazing. My favorite part though is there's like this bridge where she says, if you and I are a story that never gets told, if what you are is a daydream I'll never get to hold, at least you'll know. But man, just with the instruments and her vocals in that moment, that's probably the highlight of this song for me. So overall, it was pretty cool. Sometimes when artists use a direct name, I don't like that so much. The one thing I will give Taylor credit for, though, is that she sings about things that actually happened in her life, and for that she gets a pass. But I do like when songs are left open for interpretation. It's a little bit easier to find more meaning in the song when you can include it into your own life. I guess you could just switch Corey's name with anyone that you felt this way about. But nonetheless, the next track we're going to listen to, I actually didn't know this song was on this album. I definitely thought this was like Red era, and then when I did Red and it wasn't on there, I was like, oh. And I think it just comes from the anger. But this next track is called Shoulda Said No. Her voice is perfect right there. That song will forever be a classic, from the lyrics to the amazing instruments to that just upbeat, amazing chorus. Also, Taylor is the only person I know that can take the word no and sing it so beautifully in so many different ranges for like a 20 to 30 second period, and me just want to listen to that over and over again. This song will always be a amazing track. It's probably one of the first songs I heard from her, and it's one of those songs that you just never forget. Again, after listening to it right now, I definitely feel like this song could have been on the Red album easily, just because it does have the instruments and experimentation that Red had, but it also has that anger and emotion that Red had as well. So this song was way ahead of its time. Definitely. Okay, the next track we're going to listen to is called Mary's Song.
I was 7 and you were 9. I looked at you like the to the house in the backyard tree. Said you beat me, us two kids. You and I whole time came and our mamas cried. You said I'll be 87, you'll be 80 now. I'll still look at you.
I love the sound of this. This sounds like contemporary country music. I feel like this song could be on the radio today, and it would definitely fit in with a lot of the current artists that are playing, except for the ones that are experimenting with a little bit of hip hop. And it definitely had the right elements in the lyrics as well. So I did go back and look at the lyrics and then look up some of the meanings, because it's kind of hard when you hear Taylor Swift singing about something that has nothing to do with her. So in my head, I was like, oh, this is Taylor's story. And I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense, because, you know, meeting someone, blah, 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 80 years old, getting married, this ain't Taylor. So I looked it up. It's actually about her neighbors that lived in Nashville. And that makes the song even cooler, because she's basically telling their story on this huge stage, this huge platform, about these people that were together forever. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment on this. It was one of those songs that you could easily hear on the radio even today, and it would sound current, and I love that. Now we know this next song, come on. The next song is called Our Song.
I shotgun with my hair undone in the front seat of his car. The song is a slamming screen door, sneaking out and tapping on your window. 'Cause it's late and your mama don't know.
Woo! I have always enjoyed this song. Actually, even though it sounds really great, I always enjoyed the lyrics to this. I grew up in kind of like a very rural part of Texas, and I remember when this song came out, it was so relatable, because you typically live in a house with a screen door, and you're out late, and your parents are, you know, upset that you're out late, and you're talking on the phone super late. And when you're in those first relationships, like, which was around the time that this came out for me, you're like trying to find a song. Every relationship you're in has to have a song that defines it, you know, whether it be, you know, a current popular song or some, you know, punk song or whatever that reminds you of this person or feels like that's your relationship. And even to this day, I feel like you do that. Me and my wife definitely have a song. I feel like everyone does. But I always enjoyed how Taylor put that story together and made it different. Like, yeah, we could. She even says, I've heard every album, listened to the radio, trying to find something that would be as good as our song, because our song is just all of the things that have defined our relationship. your mother yelling, our screen door slamming, the first date when, you know, we didn't kiss, things like that. And it just takes something that most people go through in their relationship anyways, and it makes it a little bit different. And I think that is what Taylor does, right? She makes everything just a little bit different. And for some reason, that's always been what stuck with me with this song, is just how great the lyrics were. They're just extremely relatable, and you don't always find that in music, so it's fun when it does happen. Okay, the next track is called I'm Only Me When I'm With You. Oh, I like the instruments. Yes! I just found my favorite song on this album. Everything about that song was perfect. The instruments, come on. That is Speak Now Rock Taylor all over the place. That is perfect. Damn, the constant, well, like the beginning too with the guitar strum, I knew we were going to get something good here. The drums obviously absolutely killed it, but Taylor with those little bit more power vocals in the chorus and even throughout the verse, there was no dull moment in this song, and I love that. The lyrics were also pretty cool. Think about it, she's saying like, the only time I really can be myself and be who I am, fully energized, really feeling it, is when I'm with you. If you're down, I can't be up. I need to be with you. And just really putting together all these things where she needs that energy to be herself. The two of them together is really just what makes her whole. And I love that. Overall, everything about this song was perfect for me. If I were to write down an algorithm of what I thought a perfect Taylor song would be, this is so far up on that list. This is like God tier for those. As you can tell, you can probably tell what type of songs I like when Taylor makes. So good. Next track is called Invisible.
You can't see me wanting you the way you want her, and you just see right through me. But if you only knew me, I just wanna show you she don't even know you.
Damn, there's actually some really good songs on here. This is one of them. It's not even just the songwriting here, but we're definitely going to get into that. But I just have to compliment how amazing Taylor sounds in this song. To be able to have, she was very young here, but that broken sound in her voice, like you could tell that she meant every single word she was saying. It didn't feel fabricated. It felt like straight from the heart. And that's one of those things that I've always enjoyed about her, is that whenever you can tell when she really means a song. And this was it. It actually felt, there was a rawness to this, almost like a demo version is what it sounded like, which I like. I like to hear that. I like to hear like an artist sits down, they put out their feelings on this song, and you get to hear exactly what that felt like. And it felt like that here. It felt like there was like something missing in the production in the best way possible, and I love that. Song is essentially that she is in love with this person. She sees this amazing life with them, and they don't even know she exists. Even though she knows that they would have this amazing life and they'd be in love and have this magical fairy tale, this person, again, just doesn't know that she exists, sees right through her. And it kind of reminds me of You Belong With Me a little bit. In the fact that she's bringing up this other girl, like that girl doesn't even know you, she doesn't even this. And if you remember the lyrics in You Belong With Me, which of course you do because Swiftie Nation unite, but it's very similar, and I love to hear this again. I just absolutely amazing sound from Taylor on this one, like genuinely blown away with how raw that sounded. Okay, the last track we're gonna listen to is A Perfectly Good Heart.
Why would you wanna break a perfectly good heart by the distance in your eyes? Why would you wanna say
I am going to go ahead and point out that I love whenever she does the melodies, when she just hums the melodies in any of her songs that she does. It's one of my favorite characteristics of Taylor. She did that here, no disappointment. This song, though, to me felt very generic, and that's weird to say about a Taylor Swift song because I don't usually feel that way. But something about it, the lyrics felt very generic, the structure of the song felt very generic, the chorus was like, I don't know, just everything about this makes me feel like she wasn't the lead mind behind the writing of this song, because it doesn't really feel like her style. She never really has that feeling, and this song definitely just kind of felt like an afterthought. And so I really don't think that she was the main brain behind this song. It's crazy that at this point, because I've heard a lot of her music and I've listened to all of her albums now, that I can sort of pick out when I'm like, that doesn't really sound like Taylor. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Kind of feel like that's not really her style right there. But overall, I am so stoked to have finally listened to the entire discography of Taylor Swift. Now, keep in mind, I will be doing a video where I do all the platinum tracks, where I do all of the like deluxe editions, platinums, things like that all together, so that we can go through all those, because I wanted to listen to just the general releases of these albums. And I will say that working backwards was one of the coolest things to do, because I don't know if I would have been able to appreciate this album, Fearless and Speak Now, as much as I did hearing her newest stuff and working backwards, just to really see where she had come from and see just how far she's gone, and really get a great connection with all of her fan base to be able to explain different songs to me and explain the lyrics and some of the meanings behind a lot of the writing. It really helps me to get to this album and be able to see those things really when they started to come to life. This was her first release, so a lot of this stuff is what sort of laid the foundation for the rest of her career. And I had such an amazing time on this journey going through all this. My next thing to do is now go out and try to buy the vinyl of every release. I've kind of put like a cart together on the internet. I found them in various places. Obviously Lover's not available yet, but I need to get everything on vinyl and collect this collection, because I actually feel like these albums had a big impact on my life, not only because of how amazing it was to, get to experience a lot of the fans and learn so much about her, but just the fact that I really learned a lot about her as an artist, and it's really helped me open my mind towards even more music. I am extremely open-minded anyways when it comes to music. However, being able to see her songwriting, being able to see what goes on behind it, being able to follow some of the drama as it happened, what with Big Machine and with a lot of the other things that have kind of occurred in the last months leading up to Lover coming out, and being able to actually review and listen to that music with you guys when it came out. Like, all of those things are just very special moments now and places I'll hold in my life. So I am going to buy that collection so I have it forever. And because 1989 on vinyl is probably the greatest sounding thing ever. Same with Red, because Red just hits different. But I really hope you guys liked this video and that you liked all of my other ones. If you have not already watched them, make sure to check the channel. There should be a Taylor Swift playlist where I have all of my live videos, music videos, and of course these album reactions. I really hope you guys like this. If you did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, one of the first links in the description. I post like some of Taylor's live videos, some of her music videos, uncut, maybe some of her interviews in the very near future. So if you guys want to see those things, as well as more of the 1989 tour, make sure to check out the Patreon. Again, first link in the description. Thank you all so much. Let me know in the comment section your favorite song on this. And you know what, while we're at it, what was your favorite Taylor album? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.